Welcome to Everything House Music and More, and my special guest today, I have an honor of the legend himself, Mr. Ray Barney. Ray Barney, what's going on with you?
What's up, man? What's up? How's it going?
I'm doing good. How you been, brother?
Pretty good.
I really appreciate you doing this, man. So let's get into it. So, Ray, before we start, we have to pay respect to your dad, Ray Barney, as an icon in black music and business here in Chicago. Can you tell us a little bit about him and from your perspective, please?
My dad started off with a retail music store, and probably about 50, something like that, 58, 59, something like that. He went on to he got a reputation for having everything people needed at the time. And other retailers will come to him to see if they can buy records from him, because he was the guy. He was the guy with everything. So eventually we got into to wholesaling.
Okay.
And that was like 1962, something like that.
Okay.
And eventually he did start a couple of record labels, Bright Star and Four Brothers.
That's right.
Four Brothers. It was four of us. Four brothers.
Okay. Four Brothers record. That's right.
Right.
And Bright Star. I remember that. Okay.
Right.
All right. Great. So you come from music retail royalty. Did you always know you worked in your dad's business or in the music business period? And did you have a choice?
I had a choice.
Okay.
I had a choice. But I really didn't take things seriously because I knew I was destined to be in the music business.
Okay.
That's all I knew. That's what I grew up with. And I remember in college, I took a marketing class, and it was teaching you how to write resumes and, interview with people.
Right.
And I failed that class. I failed that class because I was uninterested, and I kind of knew what I was going to do when I got out of college. So, I knew I was going to go work with the family, you know.
But you knew you just got to be in the music industry then.
Right.
Okay, good. So Barney Records was iconic on the West Side and beyond. What are some of your biggest memories growing up in the store?
Biggest memories was meeting recording artists.
Okay. Can you name some that you met during that time?
Man, Lionel Richie, Philip Bailey, New Edition, The Boys, Ice-T, everybody who was anybody would stop by the store for like a promotional thing or do like an in-store for the neighborhood.
Absolutely. Okay. Wow. Okay. So the concept of the one-stop anchor music business distribution and empower the mom and pops. Can you talk about that, what that meant to consumers then in contrast to now?
Okay, wait, I don't know if I understand the question.
Okay, so let's cut right there. Okay, so the concept of the one-stop shop for the mom and pops, like yourself, George Music Room, things like that. Can you tell the consumers what that meant back in the day? Now, they don't know what's going on.
What that meant back in the day is One Stop was generally a place that, you can go and get everything your shop needed. You can get records, you can get bags, you can get, like, they used to have tune sheets out with, like, the top 20, top 30 in this category.
Right.
Like a One Stop was like a place, like a wholesale place that would have everything you needed for your store.
Right, you didn't have to go anywhere else.
Right, and that's why they called it One Stop, because you can make one stop and get everything you need.
Right, so what do you think in contrast to the consumer now that never heard of that, it's just foreign to them? Do you ever come and run across some young kids and be like, well, what does that mean back in there, or how did that happen?
Oh, man, that's a good question, man, because my youngest are 28 years old.
Okay.
They have no concept. You know how new records would come out?
Absolutely.
We would sit there and look at the back of the album cover.
Right, exactly.
They don't even know what a vinyl record is now.
Wow.
They don't. They have no concept of like the things we used to do back then. You know.
And how you call the label? You look at the label and get the number where it's distributed.
Oh man, the number, man, the where it came from, and you would get all these liner notes, who produced it, who wrote it, and then, I mean, all they know now is. I'm gonna download what I like, and I'm gonna make my playlist, and that's it, man.
That's it, right? So there was a time when radio and retail worked hand in hand. How did Barney's interact with Chicago radio?
Oh, my dad was real good friends with Purvis, man. And even right now to this day, his daughter operates and owns WVON.
Okay.
Now, I'm good friends with her husband.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just, everybody just knew everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a record business community.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah. It's so different now. You know, nowadays, like, you know, you got to have this connection or that connection.
Right.
So your family was deeply rooted in soul music, blues, and jazz, and even rap in the early years.
Correct.
What was your first reaction to house music, and then where did you hear it first?
Okay. My first, well, you know, as a distributor, I sold a lot of Trax records.
Okay.
I sold a lot of DG International records.
Right.
I was first introduced to house music through Vince Lawrence.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, through Vince Lawrence.
Okay.
Vince, he showed me house music. He showed me what was going on.
So that's because he was coming to your record to sell some of his
records.
records.
Coming to sell some of the records they had done on Trax and some other things.
Okay.
That as a distributor, I needed those records.
Right.
And so, you know, I befriended Vince. I befriended Dwayne, and we would, they would just. Say, man, this is what's happening now.
Right, so they basically get you into the culture of house music, pretty much.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, that's good. So how impactful were the WBMX Hot Mix 5 in your business?
Well, anything that was played, people would ask for,
Right.
Anything that was played on those outlets were asked for.
Yeah.
Like it would trickle down to me in the one-stop business.
Right.
And distributor business and, stores would ask for it.
Right. So you had so break it down, Ray, because a lot of people don't know about your store. Did you have like how Imports instead of had a wall of like WBMX top records?
No.
They have nothing like that.
No, because you got to remember, like Imports, etc. They mostly sold dance music.
Right.
We didn't mostly sell dance music.
You sold everything.
We sold everything. We sold R&B. We sold jazz. We sold blues.
Okay.
We sold rap.
Right.
So it was not like, we centered on dance music.
Right. So were there anybody working at the store that created house music at that time or getting into it?
Man, Byron Stingley from 10 City.
Yeah.
He used to work there.
Okay.
Paris Mitchell worked there.
Wow.
Jam and Gerald worked there for a time.
Okay.
Corky used to come through all the time.
Corky Traxman.
Corky Traxman Strong used to come through all the time.
Okay, good. So did you have any awareness of Frankie Knuckles in the warehouse?
No. I've never met him.
Okay.
And
so did you sell a lot of 12 inches at that time?
Man, a bunch of 12 inches. If you know anything about the music industry,
right?
They were kind of phasing out vinyl.
Yeah.
And they were always surprised. We would do these computer generated sales reports every week.
Really?
And we would allow the salespeople to look at them because they would come and suggest things that we get on as far as sales.
Right.
So they were always surprised that we had this astronomical number for 12 inches.
Right.
And, we were kind of mainstream.
Yeah.
And they knew mainstream. They were trying to phase that thing. They were trying to phase the vinyl out.
Wow.
And they were always surprised that we had this astronomical number for 12 inches.
Right. Now you was the buyer also, correct?
No, I wasn't the buyer. Even though our buyer our buyer name was Nellie Thompson.
Nellie Thompson. Okay.
She and I used to look over the orders.
Right.
You know, as because as in management, you gotta make sure that the sales are matching the income.
Absolutely.
So
there was a lot to it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work at that time.
Correct.
So we know house music started in Chicago. In your opinion, Ray, what was the first house record, and what was your dad's reaction to carrying it?
My dad had no reaction because once I got out of college,
right,
he was interested in other things.
Right, he just put it on you.
He put it on me,
okay.
And he was we had a health food store now. He was kind of interested in doing the natural health thing.
Nice,
and he kind of left that up to me.
Okay,
so
what you, in your opinion, and just your perspective, what do you think? What was the first house record then?
I have no idea. And I don't even want to get into that, man. I have no idea. Because when I was introduced to house music,
right?
I guess the first house record had been released already.
Okay.
So I have no idea what was the first house record.
Okay, so Vince didn't come down there and educate you and then
he educated me, and he was like, "This is the thing we're doing now," and he kind of said, "This is what's happening on the streets now."
Right.
But he never well, just remember to say this was first.
Right.
He, it wasn't like that. He was he just schooled me on what was happening.
Okay. So often the West Sides get left out of the house music story. How do you feel like the West Side played a role, and who you think was the early players from the West Side?
From the West Side, of course, DJ Funk, Jam and Juro, Waxmaster, those guys.
Okay. What about Lil Louis?
Lil Louis, oh man, Lil Louis, yeah, of course.
Okay, did he ever come to the store?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lil Louis' first 2 records were released on my label.
Really?
7 Days and what was the other? War Games.
War Games, yeah.
Yeah, that was on my label.
That's right.
Right.
Wow. Okay, we gonna get into that too. So, as a distributor, you were the first to see evidence of sales demands for house music on 12 inches.
Correct.
What was the record that stood out of house music that sold units back then?
Of course, Move Your Body.
Move Your Body, yeah.
Yeah.
So you definitely saw that moving.
Definitely.
Wow. So how many units you think per week you was moving at?
It's hard to say, man, but I know the numbers were high.
Okay. We're going to keep it right there. So at what point did Barney's Records move to pressing and distributing house music?
That was 1986.
1986. And do you remember what was the first record?
On Dance Mania?
Yes.
Yeah, JB Tracks by Dwayne and Company.
Dwayne and Company, wow.
Dwayne B. Oh, no, but we had done some things on Bright Star.
Okay, that's right. That's what I was going to come to, yeah.
We did some things on Bright Star.
Right.
I did Victor Romeo.
Okay.
We did, what turned out to be 10 City.
Right.
We did Ragtime, I Can't Stay Away.
Yeah.
We did Pleasure Control on the house.
Okay.
And Vince Lawrence did a record with Duro Pandy, Climax.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So when you get these records, what was your initial response, and who really brought you like, Ray, we should do this?
That came with a conversation with Dwayne Buford and I.
Okay.
And I was selling house music.
Yeah.
I had the infrastructure to distribute house music. I had people answering the phones. Wow. I had people taking orders. I had people unloading trucks and shipping things out.
Now, how did the name Dance Mania come about?
Okay. Now, Dwayne Buford, he did a record on Dance Mania first.
Okay.
It wasn't my idea. Okay, he did Dance Mania. He did What's That by the Browns. Okay, and when we talked about, I was like, man, I want, it was like a business thing to me because it was complementary to what I was doing already.
Right.
And so he suggested that I use Dance Mania.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, okay, we'll do Dance Mania.
Nice.
And he said, I'm going to do the first record for you.
Okay. Now, was that solely funded by yourself? Or did
solely funded by myself.
Okay, solely funded by yourself. Okay. So your voice is seldomly heard about those first years of house music and that you eyewitnessed. Can you tell us when you first put out your record with Dwayne, what was the reaction to that also?
It seemed to go over fairly well, you know. And then I did a record with Marshall called 7 Ways.
Right.
Then I did records with Farley, and then I did records with Lil Lewis, and then like the floodgates opened, man. It was people coming there all the time. Like, I got a record.
Well, see, that's good because I'm gonna segue to that. So you remember Trax Records and DJ National were known for being the most dominant labels in the early years.
They definitely were the most dominant labels,
and those was owned by white men with very loose ties to the culture.
Correct.
Why do you think Barney's was not the first choice for those black Chicago DJs to come to you first with the records?
Well, you got to remember, Trax Records and DJ International had been started before I even started Dance Mania.
Okay.
So, I guess they had a foothold in the business before I even started.
Okay.
But I had good relationships with everybody because you got to remember, I was doing distribution.
Yeah.
House music wasn't my biggest thing.
Right.
So I had good relations with a lot of guys on different labels.
Right. That's good. So you known for giving producers pressing and distribution deals for their records. Mm-hmm. What motivated you to do the business instead of traditional master ownership type of model?
I was mostly, our business was distribution.
Right.
And so I kind of approached Dance Mania in that vein, you know.
That's smart.
And it would have been, maybe I could have did it differently, but that's where I was at the time.
Right.
And, I didn't think about the traditional music label.
Okay. Right. So, out of all these house music that was on your label, and besides your label, what record did you lose to another label but you wish you had signed?
Okay, it's a long story behind this.
Okay,
but
come on, let's have it.
I wish I would have had Devotion.
Wow.
I wish I would have had Devotion.
Okay. Did Brian bring that to you at the first time?
Well, this is how it went.
Okay.
I paid for Devotion.
Oh, really?
All the studio costs I initially paid for.
Wow.
And in my mind, in the back of my mind, and I'm sure it wasn't in the back of Byron's mind.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I knew he was shopping a deal.
Okay.
And in the back of my mind was like, if he don't find a deal, I can put this on Dance Mania.
Right.
And I kind of knew in the back of my mind, Byron was so talented that he would eventually find a deal.
Right.
But that was wishful thinking on my part.
No, but you know what? If you never brought it up to him, maybe at that time, he would have been like, okay, well, let's see what can go happen.
You know what? Byron is the kind of guy. Well, he probably would have.
Wow. So Dance Mania is probably the most famous for being the launch pad for Juke and Ghetto House. How did that come about, and what was your first record sign in that subgenre?
I think Gunman and DJ Poncho did something kind of Juke.
Right. Now, did you know the term where that came from, or you were just like...
I have no idea. And actually, when we were doing music, we did not call it Ghetto House. We never referred to it as Ghetto House.
Okay, what did you just call it, house?
We called it house.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, wow. Okay. So, were you A&R'ing those records yourself, or did you hire younger ears for that?
Well, you can remember, I was a young guy.
No, I'm sorry.
When I was started the label, I was in my 20s.
Right.
So I basically the music kind of gravitated to the ghetto house scene, and basically people would bring other guys, that they knew were doing the same type of things they were doing. They would bring them along.
So take me to somebody coming to Ray right now and want to shop a record. Would you sit down with them and play it right there and then?
Yeah, sometimes I would.
Okay.
Sometimes I would.
So what was the concept like? All right, well, give me a tape. Let me listen to it. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, that was pretty much. Okay. And then sometimes, like, you got to remember DJ Dion.
Right.
I could tell you the whole story.
Okay.
Juan Tovar, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Juan Tovar, he was the manager of JR's Records in Evergreen Plaza.
JR Records, yeah.
But on the weekend, he had his own little setup in a flea market.
Okay.
And he used to sell mixtapes.
Right.
And he gave me a mixtape one time, and it was DJ Dion.
Okay.
And I was like, man, this is tremendous.
Right.
I say, man, put me in touch with him.
Okay.
And I finally got in touch with DJ Dion.
Okay.
And I talked to him about putting records on my label. Right. Now, mind you, he hadn't done records, but he would do different original tracks for his mixtapes.
Right. And
so he brought DJ Milton and Sluggo along with him.
Okay.
And so that's how I used to get some artists, like, they would bring other people with them.
Right. And that's how it would come about. Mm-hmm. So at that time, Ray, what was your biggest selling juke record? Or what's your biggest selling juke record to this day?
Well, I never really did a lot of juke music. Okay. I mean, when juke music got a foothold, that was when I was kind of winding down on the record label thing.
Right.
I was winding down in the music business, period, at that time.
Right.
So, I think we did more ghetto house.
Okay.
Than what we refer to as ghetto house now.
Right.
Than we did any other
genre. Right.
Right.
Okay. Do you own a lot of the juke and ghetto house catalog?
Well, you know what? And this is what's unique about Dance Mania. Everybody owns their own masters.
Nice.
No, I don't own any masters.
Okay.
I gave everybody a masters back.
Okay.
When if I ever want to do something, I have to go to the artist to say, man, can I?
Right.
Can I?
Well, that's good.
I mean, I've never had a problem.
Right.
I never had a problem either.
Yeah.
But I have to go and ask for permission.
Right.
Now
you also did white labels, like with Mike Dunn and everything else, correct? Like other labels with other producers.
I did some things with Bad Boy Bill.
Okay.
I did things with White Knight.
Okay.
I did just reach from Edward Get Down Crosby.
Right.
'Cause you got to remember, we were a distributor.
Right.
I mean, we were a distributor more so than a record label. And
okay.
that's the unique part.
Yeah.
I was a record industry guy.
Yeah.
I was an actual record industry guy.
Right.
So, I mean, the same kind of plaques you have on the wall, I got on my wall. I got on my wall.
Right. So, let me ask you this then. So, what has been your most challenging moment in the business?
Man, it was just a challenge staying afloat, juggling, different things,
right.
Dealing with companies, dealing with people coming in.
Right.
It was just a struggle, like juggling things, juggling everything, making sure everybody's paid on time.
Right.
Man, my dad, I mean, one thing he taught me was that no matter what, make sure people pay, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
So it was always like, man, even if you don't get paid this week, make sure your employees are paid.
That's good. Now, what about licensing for Dance Mania? Did you license a lot of records?
We licensed some records. We did license some things overseas.
Okay. So how did you learn about the licensing situation?
It's just when people approach me.
Okay.
You know.
Right. Okay. So Ray, I have to ask you this since you're from Chicago.
Okay.
Name me your top 5 Chicago house music records.
Oh man, you know, man. Man, I mean, top 5. I mean,
just your love for the music, man. Which one is your top 5?
See, I love music.
Yeah,
you know, I love things like Tent City.
Okay, that's one.
I really don't want to leave anybody out here. I love things. I love things that Paris Mitchell did. Victor Rome.
Right.
You know, Paris Mitchell and Victor Rome are the same people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I love things he did. He's a trained musician.
Yeah, Victor. It goes way
he's
back.
He's a trained musician.
Yeah.
So I love things he did. I love, because I was so well rounded in the music business.
Right.
I love the musical things.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to know some of the records that people don't know that you distributed and they didn't know it was you doing it. And that's what the most I was trying to get information out. Like, we knew you did Mike Dunn records. We know you did Hula records. Some things like that.
Oh, man. You know what? I love the Posse.
The Posse, yeah.
I love when they did Searching Heart. I love when they did it. I love when they did like a New Jack Swing remix.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I just love the musical. If it was kind of
different,
kind of on the fringe of R&B.
Yeah.
But it was actually house.
Right.
I love that. I love that kind of music.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was into.
No, that's good. That's good because I remember when we first came down there. And we was going to do it, and that's when we did the Posse, and it was just like, okay. It was a great relationship on there, man, and we had a great time over there. That was really good.
Right.
Because that's like we go way back, way back.
Right.
So, what does Ray Barney's future look like?
Man, I'm doing right now we have a health food store.
Right. Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
So the health food store, tell me what it's about, give me the address where people know how to get there and what to do.
Okay, we're located at 3141 West Roosevelt Road in Chicago. Give you the website address.
Absolutely.
NL Health.
Okay.
N is in Nancy, L is in Larry, Health, Chicago.
Okay.
.com.
Great.
Now I just got to tell you how it came about.
Yes, let's do that.
Because I told you when I finished school,
okay,
and I came and took over the record business, the family record business. My dad was always interested in healthy things, health for a living.
Right.
He was from the South, and they kind of knew herbs and things like that, and that's what he was into.
Yeah.
And he was vegan.
Right.
And that's kind of thing that he was into. So he kind of ventured off into that.
Right.
And, left me to run the music part.
So what year did you stop doing all music?
Oh, man, I think that was like the early 2000s, something like that.
And then that's when you switched over to the health food?
Well, no, I went to work for a company. This whole story behind that too, man. I got the story behind that too. But I went to work for FTD.
Okay.
The flour company.
Yeah.
And I did computer support for FTD.
Okay.
Now, I got myself fired from FTD.
Oh, my goodness.
I got myself fired.
Did you want to get yourself fired?
Yeah. I wanted to get fired. That was my plan.
Right.
Because, as you know, you can get unemployment when you get fired.
Absolutely.
But if you quit, you can't get unemployment. So I knew I wanted to go back and work in the health food store.
Right.
And I knew I wanted to build it up.
Okay.
And that would give me a year to build it up without having to take money out of the business for myself.
Nice. Okay.
And so that was my plan.
Okay.
And, the health food store, man, it's the biggest black-owned health food store on the west side of Chicago.
Oh, that's great, Ray.
And we do very well, man. We opened up the health food store. It's like right in the middle of the hood, man.
Okay.
You would never think that a health food store
but that's good
would be here.
Because like you say, we have that desert, the grocery desert and all this stuff like that, food desert. Well, I'm glad to see that is in a neighborhood like that.
It's in a neighborhood and you know, it's amazing the reception we've gotten.
Good.
You know,
Good.
Which tells you, you know, black people are into health.
Yeah.
You know, but
they are, absolutely.
they probably have to travel outside their neighborhood.
They do. They do. So you do the teas, you do the herbs over there?
I do teas, I do herbs.
Now, do you do some fruits that's not available in local grocery stores? Like sour sop or anything like that?
We don't. We do. I mean, we carry fruit like bananas and apples and things like that. Okay. But I mean, I'm anything from black seed oil to sea moss.
Okay,
to,
good.
Sour sop, things like that.
Y'all. Hey, go see Ray in his health food store, y'all. Come on, let's go make it happen. So, Ray, I got another question. In your opinion, what artist was the biggest artist on your label that sold, you know, a lot of records?
It would undoubtedly be DJ Dion.
DJ Dion.
Rest in peace.
Okay, rest in peace, Dion. That's right.
Right.
Okay.
Undoubtedly.
I just want to make sure, you know, people knew that, because a lot of times it's getting misconstrued and people are not really telling the truth. And I just wanted people to hear it from your mouth.
Well, you know? You know what? DJ Funk did real well on the label also. Okay. But it would probably be 1, 2, DJ Dion and DJ Funk.
Okay. All right, great. Well, Ray, I appreciate this, man. I definitely wanted to get you here so people can hear your story, how you started out, how you got going in the industry. And I really appreciate you doing this, man. I love you, man. I appreciate this so much, man. It's good to see a black man had his own company, and, you know, we supported it, you know. So I just want to give you flowers I use here, man. And thank you so much for that, man. And we love you and we appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.